Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Orinda Talks. Today we are talking about old tap dance musical movies. But first, a note of the host of this podcast. I would appreciate it if you like our videos, subscribe to our channel, my channel, and share it with your friends and family. So, the old tap dance musicals are dated from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And then I mean, of course, the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, etc. This is a subject that is very to my heart because this is the reason I started to tap dance. And people who know me know that I love those movies from the start, and I started seeing them in my young teenage when I was about 12, 13 years old, and the BBC had around Christmas time, I think it was November or December, there was a whole month with only of those musical movies. And then I'm talking about, of course, about Singing in the Rain, Anchors Away, Bandwagon. Well, it's not really a tap dance movie, but I do classify it as one of the old musical movies, like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I love that one. But there are so many different kind of it, and what I always love about those movies is that it's a feel good, but it's also light-hearted, and it's always giving me in a relaxed and better mood, like Star Trek doesn't to me. Of course, I have my favorite tap dancers, and then you have to think of Sammy Davis Jr., Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, Vera Allen, Eleanor Powell, and each of them have their own quality of tap dancing, and trust me guys, they are professionals. I really love them. I really, really do. But there's one person that is close to my heart, and every time Sammy Davis Jr. has a concert or is somewhere, and if he would be still alive today, I would meet him, I would ask him to sing and dance Mr. Bojangles. So I'm talking about Bill Robinson, and I met him in the first Shirley Temple movie I saw, and that was Little Princess. I love that story. I love that movie. It does remind me a bit of Annie, but still it's very good, and he always played this typical stereotype, and like Simon Dave Jr., he has to be hated, but okay, this servant of a white family and etc. And but what I do a lot about Bill Robinson is that he was just like he was so good. And a few of the tap dancers nowadays, but also in the early days, they were, I don't want to say copying him, but they are inspired by him. And I think that Stevie and Clover has some kind of a style of him as well. The only thing is he's been taught, of course, by Gregory Hines, and Gregory Hines is not a good one. But there are so many people. There are so many tap dancers of that area that it's hard to compete. And I see that people always say, "Oh, La La Land, La La Land is like the old tap dance moves, musical movies." Well, it's not. It's just a weak representation about it, of it, and I really, really, really didn't like La La Land. I expected more, and I think you will never see a quality of tap dance musicals movies like that anymore. I think it was the golden era, and yeah, what you know, of course, it's every time. So the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, and the 50s, 60s, 70s, they all have different kind of a tap style, and that's because the whole music changed over the years. But you know, those movies have started something as well, and they set the tone to a whole different time of dancing and occupy yourself and being on stage as well. Because if you see, for example, which Broadway musicals or parts that are on Broadway, you have to think of 42nd Street or a chorus line. So most of the time, when you tap dance, you would say you would tap dance on, for example, jazz or other rhythms, but every style is different. And I'm not even talking about, for example, Irish tap dance, or I just talking about that certain time of period. And there were a lot of show people. For example, the Nicholas Brothers. The Nicholas Brothers were two brothers or three brothers that did those acrobatic stuff while they were tap dancing, and they were so well known for it. And but I mean, like, the movies of those movies giving me really not even really a sentimental emotion, but it is more like it is something we don't know anymore. And yes, you have tap dance in movies, but it is so much different than in the tap dance musical movies from the 20s till, what is it, 50s, 60s, and those are decades of music and dance and performance. And you know, it couldn't be easy, because I know there was a interview with, for example, Debbie Reinhardt, and she was the young girl who danced and performed and played in Singing in the Rain, and it was Gene Kelly who pushed her and pushed her and pushed her to go level up, and practice and dance so hard that she couldn't stand anymore. So it was a very hard business, but I loved the whole stories, the whole performance of the tap dances, but also like the whole atmosphere that you get with just watching it. And I could watch it for hours and hours. Oh, I forgot someone else who is also very, very popular and also very well known, and that is Judy Garland. Judy Garland is one of my favorite actresses that played like in Wizard of Oz. Uh, there was some name in maybe in St. Louis, I guess. Was it that one? I can't remember what really the name was, but the trolley song is in there, and I love that trolley song. But that was already almost at the end of her career. And well, we all know that Judy Garland has a very hard life, and it was not all good. But I do enjoyed her movies. The other thing is that if you look at the music has been changed every decade. So it's every time you watch a movie in that decade, you will recognize the music as well, because it is a certain flair that it had, but also and talking about flair, the only dancer that has the most flair and gentleman like flair was Fred Astaire. I love the moves of Fred Astaire, and I hope that I still can one day match up to his level, and of course the other ones are still. But let me tell you about a bit of my experience. So I started watching those movies like when I was 12, 13 years old, and it is not that it was nostalgic, but it was more like, oh, this is nice, and I love the rhythm, I love the music, and I started trying it myself. And when I was about, well, it must be like about when I was 19 or 20 years old, I started actually going to tap dance classes in the Netherlands, because I couldn't find it, and there was a dance school with all styles in a city near me, so I went there, and well, I always have loved it, and it's my way of expressing myself. And like Billy in Billy Elliot, he had this also like a tap dance piece, but it's like a angry dance. And I, through tap dance, I showed or could have an outlet to my anger and my frustration. And it was something that not many people do here in the Netherlands, so I never, it was always special for everyone who meet me and saw me doing it. But I loved it. It is that, and I have to start again. The only thing is, now I live here in England, I need to see if I can find an American tap dance school, because American tap dance is still me. And even for the American tap dance, they always say you are too jazzy. That's how I just am. I let my body, my feeling, emotions go. And that is just what I do. And but I will getting married in October. We haven't, we will do like 2 weddings. And on the wedding for our spiritual wedding, we are going to have an opening dance with tap dance. So what we were thinking of doing the first piece of trading taps, of course, both river dance. The first, that's just like the American tap dances against the Irish tap dancing, and just trading taps. And then we're going to do the last part of river dance itself. What is phenomenal, I love it. But that does mean I think I need to go on Irish dancing. And I don't know if this is something for me, but if you would, we're going back to the old musical tap dance movies. In my opinion, they are phenomenal. You can't get this back anymore, and it's really a treasure. I always watch them at least once a year around Christmas time, because that's what the time I always did watch it. And yeah, it's just, it makes me feel happy. I love like I said, I love the music. I even start dancing when it is on. And there was a little side note of this. When Riverdance performed on the US Song Contest in 1984. 1984? No, 1994, sorry. It was something that I was right hooked on. And it was something that I really, really love. So also Riverdance is something I would like to learn. The only thing is I don't think I'm appropriate for the traditional Irish dancing, because like I said, I'm a really jazzy, and it's how I am, how I dance. Yeah, it's just like I said, give it a try. Go to Google. There are a lot of short videos with, for example, Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly, Vera Allen. Another one who was really cool, and he was in Singing in the Rain, is Donald O'Connor. And I always say he is the not a twin brother, but almost a brother of Danny Kaye. And Danny Kaye always make my day. When I'm sad or down, or not even Star Trek or Dragon Dogma is helping me to lift up my spirits, I put one of his movies on, or I watch one of the videos where he tap dance and where he do this comical thing, and he is really good. I think you can't compare Danny Kaye with a comedian in this time. But Danny Kaye is phenomenal, really. You should take a look. And I have no idea anymore what I have to talk about this subject, but yeah, I think oh, by the way, I will put in the description a link of a video of me when I used to tap dance in I don't want to say contest, but it's more like a demonstration. And so that was about at least 2 decades ago, so forgive me guys, but it's fun. It's a bit what you can see what I love to dance and etc. Well guys, thank you for listening, and join me in 2 weeks for a new episode of Orinda Talks. The next episode is about the Witcher origin. You can listen, subscribe and comment to Orinda Talks on the YouTube channel, or join the Facebook group. I also like to tell you about my other podcast called Girls Talking Track. Girls Talking Track is a podcast hosted by me, and I've been joined by another fellow tracker from Canada, Amanda Hopper, and we recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek. At the moment we are at the 3rd season of TNG. All the episodes will be recapped and chronically following. Girls Talking Track is also to listen, follow and subscribe on Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, or on your favorite podcast app. Every 10th episode will be a video episode, so you guys can see us when we talk about the episode. We also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook group where you can comment on the episodes. I also have a new YouTube channel called Orinda Reacts. On this channel I post reaction videos of history, typical British things, movies, books and series, video games, and other geek things, but also explanation videos about typical Dutch and Indonesian things. I will see you in 2 weeks.